Today on Stephanie's Star Wars Corner, I'm going to be talking about Ahsoka by E.K. Johnston. Ahsoka takes place on the 1-year anniversary of Empire Day. She believes that she's the last remaining Jedi. She doesn't realize that Obi-Wan and Anakin are still alive. She believes that they are dead as well. So ever since the Empire has gained power, Ahsoka has been jumping from planet to planet, trying to escape them. She hangs out at one planet for a little while, and once the Empire takes control of the planet that Ahsoka's been living on, then she gets out of there and goes to another planet where the Empire has no presence whatsoever. So in this book she ends up on a planet called Rada. It's essentially just a farming planet. There's nothing really to it, nothing fancy. It's not a huge city or anything like that. It's just a small little farming planet. So of course the Empire invades Rada, and Ahsoka is given the challenge of whether she wants to stay and help the people of Rada and fight the Empire, or if she just wants to leave again and go into hiding. I'll start off with saying that I love Ahsoka. I loved her in the Clone Wars. The first season I was kind of a little iffy about Ahsoka because she was so childish and everything, but then especially as each season went on, I really loved Ahsoka more and more. She's a really good character, and she had like some really good storylines, especially with the storylines where she wasn't with Anakin. She was kind of off on her own. That's when she really had a lot of character development. And then of course she shows up in Rebels, and she's just an awesome character. You love her even more in Rebels, and you sit there and you wonder to yourself, well, what was Ahsoka doing between the Clone Wars and Rebels? And here we have a book now. But the problem was, I was expecting a lot from this book. I had all these grand ideas in my head of what I thought would be like really great stories. I thought there would be, you know, Ahsoka going on like these really amazing adventures, and I think I expected too much from this book. I liked the book, but I didn't love it. It wasn't what I was expecting, and I think I shouldn't have went into Ahsoka with such high expectations of it. And I think that's kind of where part of my problem was too, was that I expected too much. The people of Rada were dull and boring. I didn't care for any of them. There were also way too many characters that were introduced. I feel like I should have taken notes, put down each character's name, and put a little description by them, because I kept getting all these names thrown at me at once, and then they kind of fade away and they're kind of mentioned every now and then, and by the time they're mentioned again you kind of think, well, who are they, what do they do, and why do I care about them? Now, before Ahsoka got to Rada, at the beginning of the book she was on another planet for the very first chapter, and in this chapter she was with a family, a man, a wife, and a couple kids, and they had this young daughter, and Ahsoka actually kind of goes back to them later on, and Ahsoka has this really great relationship with the little girl because Ahsoka can feel that she has the Force in her. And I really liked that family. I wish Ahsoka was more about that family than about the people of Rada. I think Ahsoka had better chemistry with that family, even though they were only in the book for 2 chapters. I'll go ahead and just, I guess, spoil it, though I don't think it's really spoiling anything, because if you've watched Rebels, then you know that Ahsoka is, you know, the codename Fulcrum. So at the very, very, very end of the book, the very last sentence, Ahsoka says that she wants to be called Fulcrum. And that is where it ends, but that is where I wanted it to begin, because that's where I want to know more about her journey, is when she becomes Fulcrum. Because then obviously from her becoming Fulcrum to the Rebels timeline, it's been about 13, 14 years, I'm not sure, but it's been a long time. So apparently Ahsoka does a lot from the time that the book ends to the time that Rebels begins. So that's where I thought the book was going to take place. When they first announced that there was going to be a book, I kind of thought it was going to be about, you know, Ahsoka as Fulcrum and what she does, because I would assume she does a lot of great things as Fulcrum, because she kind of gets herself back. She kind of realizes what she needs to do, and during all of Ahsoka, during the book, you know, she does finally, you know, come back to her senses in a way of what she must do. She realizes that she can't hide anymore, that she needs to face the Empire head on. So I guess those parts of the book were good. Was, you know, I liked more when Ahsoka was on her own. Even like when she was on Rada and she was alone, I liked those okay. But yeah, anytime she had any interaction with the people of Rada, I just thought, please, just no, go somewhere else. Go find another planet that's more entertaining. Really the only purpose of being on Rada for Ahsoka was, like I said, she comes back to her senses and she realizes what she needs to do. And that was really the only purpose of this planet. And that's really the only thing that's going on in this book. Anything that doesn't involve Ahsoka on her own, or involve Ahsoka with a certain character who pops up later on in the book, it's all just boring. The book did start getting more interesting literally halfway through, but that's about it. It took way too long for the book to really start getting a good story. So I did like Ahsoka in a way. I liked all the parts where Ahsoka was alone and, you know, pretty much talking to herself in her head, thinking back to, you know, times before. I really loved all of that. But it just was everything involving Rada that I didn't like. So if you like Ahsoka, then go ahead and pick this book up, you know, because you at least get the entertainment value of knowing more about Ahsoka. But if Ahsoka was a character that you never really cared for, you're kind of like, she's alright, then I would say don't pick it up, because you're not going to get any more from her. It's not that great of a story. It wasn't that amazing. Like I said, I only picked up the book for Ahsoka herself. That was all great, just not the rest of it. So, what did you all think of Ahsoka? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Was it alright for you? Just let me know in the comments below. And that is it for this video. I will see you next time.